The Big Story.
Beautiful night, isn't it?
Yes. Yes, it is, Hank. This your first time down here in the Valley of the Moon?
Yeah, I haven't been in California long. I'm from the East.
You and Fred are at the Maritime Academy up in Alameda, aren't you?
Uh-huh. He said he had a friend down here with a cabin, so I came along for the July 4th weekend. By the way, today's only Friday. The 4th isn't till Monday. You think between now and then I could come over to your hotel, take you dancing or something?
Don't get me wrong, Hank, but I'd rather you didn't. There's something about you that scares me a little.
Something about me? Oh, I'm just a normal guy, May. So normal it sometimes drives me a little crazy.
Eureka, California. From the pages of the Humboldt Times, the story of a cub reporter and the murderer who took a liking to him. Eureka, California. The story as it actually happened. Ed Neumeyer's story as he lived it.
Maybe some guys enjoy being interviewed for a job. Maybe some guys can even help themselves by acting as if they didn't care whether they got the job or not. But not you, Ed Neumeyer. You care very much. And as you sit nervously in the office of the Humboldt Times in Eureka on a hot July 2nd, all you can think of is that you're not a kid anymore. You're married and in need of a job.
And after you got out of the Air Force, Neumeier, what then?
Confusion. I couldn't make up my mind what I wanted to do with myself. Then I got married, and the confusion cleared up.
Who'd you marry, a job counselor?
No, just a nice gal.
Mm-hmm. Tell you what I can do for you, son. Okay, today's Saturday. Monday is July 4th. Well, how'd you like to start working for us beginning Tuesday morning?
You mean that, Mr. Barnes?
Sure, I mean it. Would you like to start Tuesday?
Would I? Gee, would I? Say, Mr. Barnes, could I call my wife?
Before you call her, Ed, let's get a couple of details straight. You're being put on as a cub reporter, you know.
Sure. I've never had any real experience, so I kind of expected.
And you'll be on trial for 6 months at cub pay.
6 months?
That's the way we work it, Ed.
Oh, I see. 6 months on trial at cub pay. That's a long time for a married man.
I know how it is, Ed, but that's our rule.
No way of breaking it?
I'm afraid not.
What if I'm good?
We expect you to be good.
What if I'm very good?
Let me tell you something, Ed. If you went out, caught a murderer single-handed, then got him to sign a confession, and then got the story exclusive for our paper, well, we might break the rule and put you on permanent staff before the 6 months were up.
Oh.
And the chances of that happening to a cub reporter in Eureka are about, I'd say roughly 1,000,000 to 1 against you.
Ed?
Huh?
Well, this morning you landed a job. But to look at you, somebody would think the finance company had just reclaimed our car. What in the world are you brooding about?
About how to catch a murderer single-handed. How to get him to confess to me. And how to get the story exclusive for the paper.
Oh, Mother, here I come. I think I married a nut. Ed Newmeyer, you're off your rocker. What do you mean?
Now, Peg, I'm serious. I'm 25. I'll be a cub reporter for 6 months. How in the heck are we going to swing it?
I'm happy, honey.
Yeah? For what? For being married to me? Look at it. It's Saturday, the July 4th weekend. And we're broke.
So what?
So broke, I don't even have enough dough to drive you down to the valley for the weekend.
Ed, listen to me. I'm serious, too. A guy can only get ahead just so fast. Look at it this way. The newspaper business isn't too easy to crack, and you just landed a job starting Tuesday. Why, Ed, you're lucky.
I don't see it that way, Peg. To me, the lucky ones are down in the Valley of the Moon for the weekend. The rest of us are sweating it out up here.
The lucky ones are down in the Valley of the Moon, you said. But how wrong you were, Ed Newmeyer. You weren't to find out for some time. Not until the luck of a woman named May Patterson began running out. It was Monday now, the morning of July 4th. May Patterson was just getting out of her bed at the Valley of the Moon Hotel when...
Hello?
Is this May Patterson?
Yes, who's this?
Oh, I'm glad I got you, May. This is Hank.
Oh, yes, Hank. What's on your mind?
Oh, May, this isn't what you think. I'm not calling you for a date or anything like that. It's about Fred.
Fred? What about him?
Well, he broke his arm. Kind of bad.
Oh, no.
The guy who owns the cabin, Pete's looking after him. Fred's kind of in pain, May. He wanted me to get you and bring you here. If you could come.
Of course. I'll be ready in 15 minutes.
I'll drive over for you, May. I'll be waiting in front of the hotel.
How did it happen, Hank? I don't understand.
Well, I think they were trying to scale the side of the hill back of the house. Maybe some of the rocks gave way.
Maybe, don't you know? What did Pete say?
Well, that's what he said.
Well, what about a doctor? Did you call a doctor, Hank?
Yeah, he'll probably be there by the time we get there. And here we are.
Hank? Where's the doctor? I don't see another car.
How should I know?
Well, aren't you coming to the house?
Oh, I'll be right along, May. It's something I left out here in the bushes. Go on. You'll find them both in the house.
Oh, I guess you found what you were looking for.
This.
Why, a stone pistol.
May.
Hank, what's wrong? You're hurting my arm.
I like you.
Hank, there's blood on the pistol.
May, I like you.
Hank, Freddie needs me. Hank, please let me go.
Be nice to me, May, please.
Fred, please help me.
May, come back.
Fred. Pete. Oh, you killed him. Hank, don't come near me. Hank, please, don't come near me. Hank!
We interrupt our regularly scheduled program, ladies and gentlemen, to bring you a special news bulletin.
Ed Newmeyer starts work tomorrow on the Humboldt Time.
Peg, I want to hear the
The
news.
police of Sonoma County have just issued an all-points bulletin for the arrest of a merchant marine officer in the brutal slaying of two men and an assault upon a young woman earlier today.
Terrible.
The woman, May Patterson, led police to the cabin of Peter Dudley, 42, where the bodies of Dudley and a weekend guest, Fred Neuer, were found. Another weekend guest, Henry Hank Hildebrandt, was missing. It is believed that he murdered the two men with an ancient Indian stone pestle and then assaulted Miss Patterson. Sonoma police are of the opinion Hildebrandt has headed out of the Valley of the Moon area. We now return you to the Sunset House.
Oh. They're your lucky people, Ed, down the Valley of the Moon. Oh, I'll get it. Hello? Oh, no, this is Mrs. Newmeyer. No, we didn't go away for the weekend. Who's this? Oh, yes, Mr. Barnes, he's right here. Ed, it's the paper. Your boss, Mr. Barnes.
The paper? For me?
Yeah.
Mr. Barnes? Yes, I'm here. The murders? Oh, sure. I just heard about them on the radio. What? Would I mind starting this afternoon instead of tomorrow? Why, not at all. You bet your life. I'll be right down. Thanks. Here I am, Mr. Barnes. Got here as fast as I could.
Fine, good. Take this address here and get there as fast as you can. It's right at the Hammond Docks. One of the aldermen just called, claims he caught the biggest tuna fish on record.
A tuna fish?
That's what he said. Well, come on, get going. Fish don't keep forever. And what's the matter with you?
Not the murders?
The murders down in Sonoma? What's the matter with you, Ed? I've got every one of my regular men out on that murder. You don't think I'd put a cub on it, do you? That's why I called you. The regulars are all tied up now. I need you for the local stuff.
Yes, sir. A ham and docks. A tuna fish.
Barnes speaking. What? Come on, speak up. You're talking so low I can't make you out. You... What? You got a story on the murders. In 10 minutes at the village bar. Yeah, sure. There goes the first of them.
The first of whom, Mr. Barnes?
The cranks, the crackpots, the boys with the overheated brains.
Oh.
Is this the city editor? Well, if you send a reporter to the village bar in 10 minutes, I'll tell him all about the murders. The minute they hear about a murder, they start trooping in.
The village bar is on the way to the docks. Want me to check on it, Mr. Barnes?
Huh? Oh, yeah, go ahead if you want to. Ask for Joe, he said.
Huh.
But don't let the joke tie you up. And Ed.
Yes, sir.
If he tells you he's Napoleon, don't believe him. I'm Napoleon.
This is Cy Harris, returning you to your narrator, and the big story of Ed Newmeyer, as he lived it and wrote it.
When you left the office of the Humboldt Times that afternoon, Ed Newmeyer, you looked like a kid who'd been sent out of the room just when the grown-ups began talking something interesting. The regulars on the paper were all assigned to the double murder which had occurred that morning. But you were on your way to cover a fish story. As an afterthought, the editor had also asked you to follow up a crank call on the murder.
Who's it be, mister?
I'm Ed Newmeyer with the Humboldt Times.
A reporter, huh?
Yeah.
Well, that still don't tell me what you're going to drink. What'll it be?
Look, a fella named Joe said he'd be here. He said he had a story for the paper. Do you happen to know which of these guys is named Joe?
Look, son, in a bar, everybody's name is Joe. Hey, any of you guys
Hey, I
call up
didn't
the
mean for you to
Times?
call it out like that.
This guy here says somebody named Joe said he had a story for the paper.
Ah, sure. My name's Joe. I got a story for the paper.
Hey, are Newmeyer? Here's your man.
Are you the one called the paper?
Might be, and again, might not.
Okay, come on, wise guy. What's your story?
What's my story? You're the reporter. That's for you to find out.
It's not very pleasant to have a saloon full of men laughing at you, so you turn toward the street door. And you're none too patient with the man blocking your exit. You don't care for his loud sport clothes, nor his dark sunglasses.
Excuse me, are you really from the Times?
What's it to you?
Well, it's just that you look awful young for what I have in
Now,
mind.
come on, fella, let me by. I've got a job to do.
You came here because I called the paper, didn't you?
What do you mean you called? I thought it was that drunk playing a practical joke.
No. Do you mind if we sit down in that booth over there?
Well, No, what the heck? Sure. Come on. Hey, what's the matter with your hands? The way they're shaking.
Nothing.
Now, look, mister, you want to know what I think? I think you're a guy with a DTs who's just lonesome for company. I don't think you've got a thing to tell about those murders.
I'm the guy they're looking for down in the Valley of the Moon.
The murders this morning?
You don't believe me, do you?
Oh, No. I mean... Well, all right. What's your real name?
Hank Hildebrand?
You could have gotten that from the radio report.
No, honest, I didn't. That's my name, all right. Hank Hildebrand.
Well, I mean, any guy can say that just for some publicity. Now, look, I just started on the paper today. I can't take any chances.
But that's my name, Hank Hildebrand.
Okay. Show me your credentials.
I don't know. You don't act like a real reporter to me. Show me yours first.
Mine? Well, there. There's my press card.
Ed Newmeyer.
Okay, now show me yours.
Here. This one's my Social Security card.
Oh, okay.
And that one there's from the Academy.
Yeah. Sure. Sure, Hank.
Well, Ed, what do we do now?
Now? Listen, Hank, would it be all right with you if I called my editor?
Well, I don't know. No, you better not. He might call the police. I don't want the police catching me in a public place. I might get hurt. That's why I'm giving myself up to you.
Oh.
I tell you what, though. Why don't you drive me over to your paper? I'll be safe there.
Well, the only thing is, my wife has a car.
Oh. Well, then I guess we better walk there.
Walk? Across town to the paper?
Well, why not? It's a nice day. Sure a nice town you live in.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
I like walking through towns like this. Just as if nothing had happened.
Yeah,
it feels so normal. We got much further to go?
No, just a few blocks more.
I feel funny, Ed.
How do you mean, Hank?
Like I was seeing all this for the last time.
Oh.
Ed,
yeah?
I'm not so sure anymore. All of a sudden, I'm not so sure that I want to give all this up so easily.
Well, it's just a few blocks more.
No, Ed, I'm not so sure I want to give up all this forever. Hey, in the car. What? Someone's honking at us.
What's new on the big murder?
Peg.
I go in to do some shopping and spotted you. Well, how about introducing me to your friend?
Well, this is my wife. Peg, I'd like you to meet
Joe Smith.
Yeah, Joe.
Hello, Joe. You work for the Times also?
No.
Oh, Ed, what about dinner?
For dinner? What about it?
You had lunch hours ago. Is the office going to let you up for dinner? What happened?
Well, Peg, I'm on business. This man here, I mean, Joe, this is business.
Well, I've got enough stuff in the back for three of us. How about it, Joe? Would you like to join us for dinner?
Just the three of us.
Now, Peggy, you don't understand.
Well, if you've got business with Joe here, you can carry it on over a good dinner just as well, can't you? How about it, Joe?
No. Thanks, anyway.
Well, Peg, I'll call you from the office. Joe and I have to get along.
Well, call early.
Sure. See you later, Peg.
So long, Joe.
So long. Nice girl, your wife.
Yeah.
May was nice, too. Until...
Hank, what made you do it?
Come on. All of a sudden, I don't feel so good. Let's get to your office.
Sit here for a minute, Hank, will you? Nobody will disturb you in this office.
Where are you going?
Me? Well, I thought I'd better get Mr. Barnes.
Who's he?
My boss.
Oh.
You'll sit right there, won't you? He's in the next office. I'll be right back.
Sure.
Now listen to me, Grady. Grady, are you listening? The highway police just announced they got wind he was seen in the vicinity of Healdsburg 2 hours ago, and near Willett.
Mr. Barnes,
Willett.
Excuse me.
Yeah. See if the sheriff knows anything.
Mr. Barnes, please, there's something important.
Neymar, get off my neck, will you? Can't you see I'm on the phone? But if the sheriff lost Hildebrandt's trail, get in touch with the state highway police.
Mr. Barnes, you don't understand.
Hildebrandt's
Hildebrand's in the next office.
And for all, I don't like to be interrupted in the middle of a murder story. I've got Grady on the phone here, and What did you say?
I said I've got Hank Hildebrandt in the office next door. The murderer.
Grady, hold on a minute, will you? Our new cub just got sunstroke. Okay, Neumeier. Slowly now. Who is in the office next door?
Hildebrandt. The guy who called from the village bar, remember? It turned out to be him. I just walked across town with him.
How do you know it's him?
Well, he showed me his Social Security card, his papers, and some more stuff. Here. Here's his Social Security card.
Grady, listen. Stay where you are. I think we've just been struck by lightning. Newmeyer. Ed. Son, are you sure?
Oh, I think so.
Which office is he waiting in so patiently?
Right in the next one.
The makeup desk?
Oh, yes, I guess
With
that's...
all those razor blades and knives and sharp shears we use for dummying up the paper?
Well, I didn't notice. I was so excited.
Come on!
Oh, Hank. Yes? This is my boss, Mr. Barnes.
Oh, how do you do, sir? How are you, Hildebrand?
Hank, I explained to Mr. Barnes why you gave yourself up to us instead of the police. I don't want to get hurt.
Yes, I understand.
Well, how should we begin? How?
You mean, how?
Well, maybe I'd better sit down here and take notes.
Yes.
Hank, do you mind if we both ask you questions?
No. Well,
Well, Hank, maybe if you answered the most important question.
Yeah?
You know, what made you do it?
Well, Fred Neuer invited me up over the weekend at Pete Dudley's place.
Uh-huh.
And May Patterson was staying at a hotel nearby. Friday night she came over. She knew Fred before. And I made a pass at her, and she brushed me off. But everything went along fine otherwise, until Monday morning. I awoke between 8 and 10 a.m. I felt a violent pulsation, a rapid heart beating.
have you ever had that feeling before?
No. I went outside and I took a stone. I think it was an Indian pestle. I came into the cabin and I hit Fred and I hit Pete. I felt nothing at the time. Now I feel the greatest repulsion.
Then?
And then I left the cabin after calling May about the broken arm story. When we got to the cabin, I got the stone out of the bushes and I threatened her. She ran into the house, she found Fred and Pete, and then...
And then?
Like she says.
Oh, Hank, were you jealous of the two men? Is that why?
I don't know. Maybe. I just had that violent pulsation, the rapid heart beating. It seemed the only way to get rid of that feeling. I'm hungry. I'd like something to eat, please.
Yeah, well, I'll go down and get you something, Hank.
Steak. Make it a steak sandwich, Ed. I feel real hungry.
Now we read you that telegram from Ed Newmeyer of the Eureka, California Humboldt Times.
Murderer in tonight's big story seemed resigned to his fate as he walked into San Quentin's gas chamber. He had nothing to add to the confession already given to our paper. By the way, I covered the story of the execution as a full-fledged reporter.
And so ends another big story. In order to protect the names of people actually involved in tonight's authentic big story, the names of all characters in the dramatization were changed, with the exception of the newspaper reporter. This is the United States Armed Forces Radio Service, the voice of information and education.